So my first apartment on my own was a very small one-bedroom apartment and was on the second floor. For the first couple of months I would hear occasional noises from downstairs, but nothing too bad or obnoxious. Then a couple moves in, and all hell breaks loose. It's not even 3 days into the new neighbors being there, and they start fighting, every single night. Screaming, throwing things, heard every word they screamed at each other, every night. This would start around midnight and last for hours. At the time, I worked the second shift, so I would just turn up the TV or listen in so I could pick a side. But when I started the first shift, being kept awake until 3 or 4 a.m. really started to get on my nerves. I finally had enough after a few weeks of trying everything I could to ignore it or sleep through it, but sleep deprivation took over, and I was gonna get even. It started with stomping around in heavy shoes and drumming on my floor with just about anything I could find. It did nothing. The screaming was getting worse, and I was about to break and kick down their door just to tell them to break up already when I decided to go for one last attempt. I had a pretty decent speaker, so I placed it face down on the floor of the room they were arguing in, found the hardest screamo song I could in my playlists, and cranked it up to the loudest it could go. After replaying the song 5 times, they seemed to catch the hint, and finally silence. I slept wonderfully that night, but 2 nights later, like clockwork, midnight hit, and the screaming started again. I grabbed the speaker, half asleep, and decided to get the point through a little bit faster this time. I started with Taylor Swift, and even though they stopped 30 seconds in, I topped it off by downloading the most annoying song I could think of, Friday, by Rebecca Black, and wrote them a letter, explaining that from now on, every time I hear them fighting after 9 p.m., I would be recording their argument, posting it online, and providing copies to management. There was a clause in the lease agreement that refers to excessive noise after 10 p.m., and that multiple complaints can result in eviction, and politely suggested that they seek therapy. I believe one or both of them moved out shortly after because that was the end of being woken up by their fights. The end. Thank you a lot for watching. If you liked it, consider liking the video and subscribe to the channel. And please comment if you had a similar experience. I'd like to know your story. Bye. See you in the next video.